4:16 a.m. local time. The ocean was black and glassy. The USS Nimitz cut through the waves like a giant prow. Radar screens hummed in the Combat Information Center. Every sailor on watch knew the rules. Every sensor was trained. Every system active. Nothing moved without being observed. The first blip appeared on the radar at 4:17. Small, fast contacts approaching from the north. Jets. Not commercial, not friendly. A foreign fighter formation closing at high speed. The CIC lit up with motion. Operators confirmed altitude, speed, vector. Everything precise. Everything deliberate. The captain entered the bridge. His boots echoed on the steel deck. He peered at the radar and then at the horizon. Nothing yet visible. The early morning haze swallowed shapes. Only instruments spoke. Only numbers warned. He could feel the pulse of the ship through the floor. The power of the nuclear reactors vibrating like a heartbeat. The warship waited, patient, deadly. Flight deck crews braced for potential scramble. Aircraft were already in their ready positions. Pilots' straps secured. Engines cold. They watched the horizon through night goggles and binoculars. Every eye measured distance in seconds. Every second mattered. The radar picked up 3 incoming aircraft flying in tight formation, 600 feet above sea level, closing fast. Precision that suggested training. Discipline that suggested intent. The operations officer reported coordinates to the captain. No hostile actions yet. No weapons. But the proximity was dangerous. Too close to the carrier. Too close for comfort. The captain ordered all systems to defensive posture. Electronic countermeasures armed. Close-in maneuvering plotted. Every crew member knew that one misstep could turn this into disaster. The jets adjusted course. Mirrored the carrier's movements. Each change in heading was anticipated. The bridge felt the tension like static electricity. On the flight deck, the pilots were ready to launch interceptors. Engines warmed slowly. They could respond in seconds if directed. The bridge watched them. The sky became a stage of invisible forces. The sea beneath carried the massive weight of the ship. The air above carried machines faster than sound. Every action calculated, every reaction precise. The radar screens updated in real time. The jets maintained 600 feet. The bridge calculated risk. Maneuvers had to be exact, a tilt in altitude. A shift in course. One wrong call and metal could collide. Hundreds of tons against thousands of tons. Disaster measured in seconds. 4:22. A pilot's perspective appeared on the feed. Cockpit instruments glowing. The pilot checked distance. Adjusted vector. Eyes scanned the horizon. Nothing wrong, nothing unpredictable. Still the human mind calculated. Seconds. Inches. Risk. The pilot knew the carrier was a fortress, a moving mountain. But even a mountain could not stop a collision in such proximity. The captain observed every movement. He felt the weight of responsibility. International waters offered no room for error. One missile, one misjudged maneuver. One collision and the situation escalated beyond control. Diplomacy measured in seconds. Politics measured in steel. The bridge stayed silent except for the soft tones of radar updates. The lead jet changed heading. The formation followed. Slight deviation. Calculated turn. The operations officer ran simulations in real time. Collision avoided only by a fraction of seconds. The crew held their breath. The carrier itself seemed to hold its stance, immovable, controlled, deadly in restraint. The jets flew closer. 500 feet. 450 feet. The radar reflected the intensity of proximity. The flight deck adjusted. Pilots in the air felt the tension. The carrier continued its course. Evasive maneuvers subtle but precise. Every decision weighed in human judgment. Every decision measured against mechanical power. The lead jet executed a banking turn too close to the carrier. The ship's radar flagged proximity alerts. Operators predicted trajectory. The captain issued a command to adjust course slightly starboard. The change was subtle, too subtle to provoke reaction. Enough to create space. Enough to prevent disaster. The jets mirrored the adjustments. Every micro-movement observed, every second stretched. The bridge held. The flight deck held. The CIC held. Human calculation against physics. Judgment against power. Precision against potential catastrophe. Suddenly, the lead jet banked sharply. The wingtip brushed turbulence over the carrier. The radar flared. The CIC alert lights flashed. Every operator's heart raced. Flight deck crews held their positions. Pilots in the sky stabilized. Seconds hung like steel cables ready to snap. And then a metallic clang echoed from above the deck. Something had struck the superstructure. The bridge went silent. Sensors confirmed it. A foreign jet had passed within 20 feet of the island. The sound vibrated through the hull. The captain gripped the rail. Every eye on the bridge was locked on the screens. The radar tracked another unexpected maneuver. The jets were not retreating. They were circling, calculating, waiting, testing limits. The ship held, immovable, controlled, a fortress on the ocean. And then the CIC reported a new blip appearing behind the formation. Another aircraft closing fast. Faster than the first, bringing a new variable into an already impossible equation. Here is ***part 2****. The new blip appeared on radar at 4:24 a.m., faster than the others, higher than the formation. Its trajectory intersected with the carrier's starboard bow. The bridge went quiet except for the soft hum of instruments. Every operator froze for a heartbeat, seconds stretched. Inches became the difference between safety and catastrophe. The captain's hand tightened around the rail, eyes scanning the horizon. The Supercarrier seemed almost alive beneath him. The vibrations from the engines ran like a pulse through the deck. Every system on the ship was awake. Every sensor tuned to detect the faintest change. Every sailor on watch sensed the tension. Flight deck crews adjusted again. Aircraft secure. Engines idling. Ready for launch at a moment's notice. Pilots in the sky watched the new jets approach. They'd calculated speed and vector. Radio chatter was minimal. Discipline was absolute. One wrong transmission could startle the formation. One wrong move could end everything. The radar showed the closing distance. 400 feet, 350 feet, 200 feet. The operations officer began running predictive simulations. Calculations revealed an impossible scenario. If the jet maintained speed, it would reach the carrier's edge in 7 seconds. 7 seconds for human judgment to prevent disaster. 7 seconds for restraint to beat reflex. The captain issued the first command, not for weapons. Not for retaliation, maneuver. Subtle adjustment. The carrier shifted slightly. The nuclear engines hummed as the hull moved imperceptibly. The change was enough to alter the vector slightly. Enough to buy fractions of seconds. The lead jets reacted immediately. They mirrored the carrier's subtle move. Precision beyond training. Precision born from experience. They adjusted altitude to maintain formation. The new blip altered course. Calculated adjustments kept it alive within the boundaries of risk. A pilot's helmet camera feed flickered on the CIC monitors. Eyes scanning instruments. Hands steady on controls. The cockpit felt small compared to the vast ocean below. The carrier seemed impossibly massive. The tension in the air was palpable. Every movement measured. Every breath held. The carrier approached a narrow window of calm. The new jet veered slightly left. The formation followed. The sea reflected the early light of dawn. Waves rolled beneath the hull. The Supercarrier glided like a moving fortress. The bridge remained silent except for the quiet reports of radar readings. 4:26 a.m. The operations officer shouted an alert. Another anomaly appeared, a shadow on radar. Another fast contact emerging from the horizon at extreme angle. This was not part of the initial formation. No communication. No warning. The carrier's sensors flagged multiple potential collision points. The captain issued a second command. Adjust heading starboard 5 degrees. The Supercarrier's course changed subtly, subtle enough to avoid the new contact. But the maneuver forced the jets to adjust more aggressively. One wingtip dipped dangerously close to the edge of the flight deck. The pilots responded instantly. The formation stabilized, but the risk had increased. The new blip accelerated. The CIC operators struggled to maintain predictive tracking. Calculations warned of 2 possible collisions. The human mind processed instinctively. One decision could cascade into disaster. The captain remained calm. Restraint was the weapon. Precision was the shield. From the flight deck, observers reported a metallic glint high above. The lead jet banked sharply. Sunlight reflected off the fuselage, a reminder of the aircraft's speed. A warning of proximity, pilots in the air held formation. They flew in perfect alignment with human and machine precision. 4:28 a.m. A sudden burst of turbulence hit the carrier's port side. Sensors confirmed a near miss. A foreign jet passed within 10 feet of the superstructure. The hull vibrated. Flight deck crews felt the shock. Pilots felt the wind shift against their wings. The bridge registered every pulse, every system alive. The captain assessed. No weapons fired, no retaliation ordered, only disciplined maneuvers. Only human judgment controlling a machine of immense power. The jets circled, testing, waiting. The new blip continued to close from a higher altitude. Its approach was unpredictable, its speed unmatched. Radar detected an unexpected change. Another object appeared. Small, fast, below the formation, too low to be another fighter jet, too fast to be a boat. CIC operators tracked the object's vector. Calculations confirmed a collision course with the edge of the flight deck. The bridge erupted into controlled activity. Pilots prepared for emergency takeoff. Deck crews braced for impact. Every second measured in human calculation. Every millisecond a potential disaster. The carrier systems were fully engaged, countermeasures armed. Maneuvering adjustments plotted in real time. The lead jet banked in reaction to the low object. A sudden roar filled the sky. The CIC cameras captured movement on deck. The metallic glint was gone. Flight deck crews stared at empty air where seconds before the object had appeared. The radar confirmed a blip vanished. The captain remained vigilant. The new jet was still circling above. The formation maintained distance. The carrier glided like a floating mountain. Human judgment had kept the ship intact so far. Precision and restraint had beaten brute force. 4:30 a.m. CIC operators detected another anomaly. A jet in the rear of the formation had suddenly dropped altitude sharply. The radar flagged proximity alerts. The bridge froze in tense anticipation. Every calculation pointed to imminent danger. The ship had survived so far, but the situation was escalating beyond anything predicted. The operations officer shouted a warning. The descending jet was now only 600 feet from the carrier. Speed increasing. Maneuvering erratic. The captain looked at the radar. One decision now would determine whether the carrier remained unharmed or became a scene of disaster. A sudden transmission crackled over secure channel. Unknown language. No identification. Only static and speed of voice that implied urgency. The bridge held its silence. Every ear strained, every mind calculated. Seconds ticked, inches measured. And then the descending jet made a sudden dive. Direct trajectory toward the carrier. The descending jet sliced through the early morning haze. Radar blipped frantically. CIC operators calculated impact points. Every second stretched. The carrier's bow cut through the waves like a knife. Every inch of steel vibrating with tension. The bridge held its collective breath. The captain's hand gripped the rail, eyes locked on radar screens. Orders issued silently in his mind. No weapons fired, only precise maneuvering. Only the human mind controlling a massive floating fortress. The ship responded like an extension of will. The jet dropped lower. 400 feet. 300. The wind whipped across the deck. Sensors screamed alerts. Flight deck crews pressed against bulkheads. Pilots in the air adjusted position instantly. Every muscle trained. Every mind focused. The operations officer calculated multiple trajectories. Predicted outcomes flashed across screens. Collision probability 87%. Adjustment window under 3 seconds. Heartbeats measured in milliseconds. Human judgment versus sheer velocity. The carrier executed a subtle turn. Starboard 20 degrees. The jet's descent line intersected with the port side. The ship's movement shifted the relative angle. The lead jets in formation mirrored the maneuver. Human calculation countered physics. The descending jet adjusted. Its pilot compensated for the carrier's movement. The wind over wings changed. The cockpit vibrated. Instruments reflected the struggle to maintain control. Seconds remained. Inches remained. A sudden burst of turbulence hit the flight deck. The radar displayed erratic motion. A second jet veered unexpectedly. The operations officer recalculated. The captain held steady. Every decision measured. No panic allowed. The Supercarrier was a fortress of restraint. The descending jet clipped a wave. Spray shot into the air. Mirrors reflected sunlight. The pilot corrected. Inches mattered. Seconds mattered. The carrier's engines hummed with controlled power. The hull moved like an immovable titan. The formation above adjusted to maintain safe distance. The CIC operators tracked every micro-movement. The lead jet served as a shield. Observers above and below measured velocity and angle. The human element had become more vital than steel. 4:32 a.m., the descending jet leveled abruptly. Radar showed proximity 30 feet from the flight deck. Flight deck crews braced. Pilots scanned the horizon. The carrier maintained course. Every system engaged. Countermeasures ready. Human judgment at maximum alert. Then a sudden change. The jet pulled up sharply. The maneuver sent it skimming the carrier's starboard superstructure. Sensors registered a glancing near miss. Metal did not touch metal. Flight deck remained intact. The CIC released a collective sigh, seconds saved by precise human timing. The carrier maintained its course. The lead jets circled above. The remaining formation adjusted. Radar confirmed separation. The descending jet regained altitude. Eyes of pilots and crew followed every movement. The danger was not gone, only mitigated. The captain issued orders for cautious repositioning. The supercarrier slowed, adjusted heading to maintain distance from the formation. Every adjustment measured. Human skill and restraint had prevented catastrophe. No shots fired. No collision occurred. Only disciplined maneuvers had saved the ship. The jets began to disperse. Each one broke formation. The descending jet climbed rapidly. The initial formation veered away. Radar showed clean separation. CIC operators confirmed no further immediate threats. The bridge remained tense. Relief had not yet set in. Flight deck crews exhaled. Pilots relaxed slightly. Every system remained active. No moment could be wasted. The carrier's engines hummed steady. The ship resumed normal course. Human judgment had preserved the power of a floating fortress. The captain watched the horizon. The jets disappeared into the distance. Radio chatter quieted. Instruments returned to routine. The supercarrier stood intact. The human element had controlled potential disaster. Discipline and precision had won over speed and proximity. The crew understood the lesson. Power alone did not guarantee safety. Restraint and judgment mattered more. The ship continued forward. The ocean stretched endlessly. The dawn reflected across steel and water. And then the CIC radar detected a new blip. From the east, fast, small, unknown, moving directly toward the carrier once again. In the dead of dawn, a U.S. supercarrier faced an unprecedented challenge. Foreign jets flew dangerously close, testing the limits of human judgment and naval precision. Every maneuver mattered. Every second could mean disaster. Through skill, restraint, and split-second decision-making, the carrier's crew avoided catastrophe and maintained control of the most powerful warship on the seas. This is a story of discipline, courage, and the invisible battles fought in the quiet tension of international waters. Don't forget to subscribe to Naval Pulse. If you were on the bridge, what would you have done to prevent disaster? Let us know in the comments.